Okay, my effort moment was, and this is one that I don't talk about too often, was probably when me and De La Soul parted ways. And this was at the beginning of Stakes is High. People don't know that. They automatically think that Balloon Mind State was the last album and that was it. But we started working on Stakes is High together at my studio. We had a disagreement on how the record should sound. So me trying to take the high road, I said, well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give you guys the ADATs. That shows how long ago this was. I'm gonna give you guys the ADAT tapes, and let's just peacefully part ways. So while we're still friends, we can still be cool. You could produce the record how you want to produce it, you know, and then we can move on. So at that point, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm like, oh man, like people know me with Stetsasonic. Some people know me with Gravediggers, but De La Soul was kind of like, people knew Prince Paul primarily from De La Soul. That was really kind of how my name got out there. What I'm gonna do? So I'm sitting there like thinking like, oh, I was like, yo, I gotta figure out a way to make my name, to put it out there, but I don't rhyme. I only produce. Like, how can I do this? Like, how can I flip this? How can I make the sound that I wanted De La to have for Stakes is High and kind of put it as my own and manipulate it? And I did Psychoanalysis. And Psychoanalysis came at a time, and it was just like a piece together record. It was supposed to be like 1,000 pieces made, kind of whatever. That record, at a time where I thought my career was over, because I had no more De La Soul. You gotta understand, Gravediggers, people thought the first record was a gimmick. Stetsasonic was done. I had a label called Doodoo Man, and that was over in the early 90s. I had to figure out how do I make me work, and I did this record, Psychoanalysis. It came out on a small label called Word Sound. I put it in a way as, I don't think any other, there was nothing to kind of preface what I did, because I don't think there was any other producers that made a solo record clearly of just random songs, not a specific rapper. It's not like Herbie Lovebug presents or whomever presents. It was me and me more or less making skit records. And I did that, and from that, oddly enough, that record turned around me meeting Dan and us doing Handsome Boy Modeling School, because he did Dr. Octagon at the time, and we met through a mutual friend, the guy who owned the labels, a guy named Skiz at Word Sound. We did Handsome Boy. Tommy Boy called me up, yo, we love your Psychoanalysis record. We want to give you a record deal, and we want to re-release Psychoanalysis on Tommy Boy. I'm like, that record? That's just such a bizarre record. It defies anything that's commercial and would sell. And then from that, I get a call one day. I'm at my house, and I'm like, you know, hey man, it's Chris Rock. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay, yeah. No, really. Yeah. Call me back later. Click. Get another ring back. Yo, it's Chris Rock. I was like, all right, what's the joke? Did De La put you up to this? Because we still like have these jokes with De La where we just give other people like each other's numbers. That's how Ring 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 came about, more or less. We was like, here, man, you wanna make a hit? Here's Pasa's number. You know what I'm saying? And random cats would call up. So I thought this was a joke. He calls up, it's like, no, I'm doing an album, and I want you to produce a song or two on it. I heard Psychoanalysis. I think it's funny. I was like, really? And then the Chris Rock stuff came about. And then my career, from seeming like it was done, just rebooted itself off a record that had no intentions of any commercial success. Actually, it was my farewell to the music industry. It's like, this is it, man. Like, I had a good run. I guess this is how music industry goes. You make a few records, you hit, and then you go to the bottom, and then you work at Enterprise Car Rental Agency. That's where I thought I was headed, you know? You know, I had a college degree. I thought that was it. Well, comedy plays into my music. I wouldn't even say it's comedy. It's just my personality. You know, it's, put it like this, and I don't mind disclosing my age. I'm 49 years old, right? I've been 18 since I was 18. So the same little yuck stuff you do in high school with your friends and all that dumb stuff, I haven't changed. And I just put it in every record I've made. So it's just not growing up. You know, most artists, I think, don't grow up in general. My sense of humor hasn't grown up. I still have the same dumb stuff. That's why me and my kids get along. Even my kids are more mature than I am. As far as sense of humor, like that's not funny. I was like, what? You don't think that's funny? So I found a way to take all that that stupidity and all the craziness and put it on wax. And I think what's funny about that is for 3 Feet High and Rising, a lot of that stupidity went on that record, but it was years of having my brother who used to sit there and go tell my mom, I know what's wrong with your son. I don't know what's wrong with him. You know, it's not funny. He just sit there with a straight face. It's not funny. So with all my, other friends, Paul, it's not funny. The laugh was on them because I made a living out of it for my stupid sense of humor. So it worked out. And like I said, I don't think it's comedy. It's just stupid and entertainingly stupid. That's my effort moment that brings me here today. It worked out. Here's an idea of some of the kind of stupid stuff I used to do. I was out on tours. My first tour was the Def Jam tour. We were in California. This was 1987, maybe. I'm a kid, right? I meet these a couple of guys who handled the bags in the group, and we're hanging out. We end up at some random sex shop somewhere in Hollywood. And we're looking through the stuff. We're kids like, yo, look at that. And I seen this thing called Spanish Fly. I don't even know if they even sell Spanish Fly no more. And I was like, yo, I heard about this stuff. And they had one with some woman on the cover. She's all like, looking all like sexed out. And it said Zesty Cola. And I was like, yo, you know what? How much is that? I'm gonna buy that, right? I don't know, let's say it was $5. Picked it up. Later on that night at the show, we met these 2 girls. And all I remember, this is how goofy I am. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, blah, blah, we're talking. I was like, by the way, would you like something to drink? A beverage, perhaps? She was like, yeah. It's like, a cola? She's like, yeah. So I go back to the bar. See, this sounds all like Cosby-like. So I was like, so I take it, right? I go, the bartender's looking at me like, what is this guy doing, right? When I was putting the Spanish Fly in the drink, it was just like 1-2 squeezes, like, the bottle was probably like this big, Another artist, entertainer, comes up, sees me talking to the girls. The girls just holding it like this, like, I was like, drink it, drink it, drink it. Another artist comes up, a rapper, not gonna name who it is, goes, yo, what's up, girl? She's like, hey, what's up? Let me get some of that drink. It's like, I couldn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, no, you can't. Man, he guzzled that down. And I don't know if Spanish Fly really works, but he was bad touchy-feely with everybody for the rest of the night. He was like, yo, what's up, man? Extended handshakes, rubbing people's arms. It was horrible. Needless to say, I've never done that again. I got a good laugh out of it, and I could never, ever tell him. Because he's like a hardcore gangster rapper. You know what I'm saying? Yo, his mood switched. And it was not cool.